Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Commentary of Bhagavata Shankaracharya on the 5th Sutra of the Brahma Sutras. He says, here he is talking about how different schools of thought, Indian philosophy, how they have different opinions about what is the cause of this universe. They have different opinions about what creates, sustains, and destroys this universe. He says, Pradhana Purusha Sanyoga Nitya Anumeya Iti Sankhya Manyante. Sankhya, those who follow the philosophy of Sankhya, propounded by Kapila, they manyante believe, Pradhana Purusha Sanyoga Nitya Anumeya, that Pradhana and Purusha, these two principles of the Sankhya philosophy, and their coming together, Sanyoga, their coming together is Nitya Anumeya. That can be inferred. It can be always inferred. So, Sankhya philosophers believe that Pradhana is the cause of this universe. And they say that this coming together of Pradhana and Purusha, Purusha of course denotes sentience or consciousness, and Pradhana is unconscious, non-conscious. So the coming together of Pradhana and Purusha, the conscious principle and the non-conscious principle, leads to the creation of this universe. That is the idea. So Nitya Anumeya, it can be always inferred. It is eternally inferable. It can be inferred, capable of being inferred. That is the belief or opinion of Sankhya philosophers. Kanadau tu etebhyah eva vakebhyah Ishwaram nimitta karanam anumiyate. Kanada means those who follow the philosophy of Kanada, or those who follow Kanada. Kanada's philosophy, we all know, is Vaisheshika philosophy. So in Vaisheshika philosophy, all those who follow the Kanada's Vaisheshika philosophy, they take the same sentences, etebhya eva vakyebhya. So they take the same sentences which have been used by Sankhya philosophers to prove their point. Those same sentences are taken by Kanada, followers of Kanada, or Vaisheshika philosophers. And using those sentences, they anumimate, they infer, they deduce that Ishwaram nimitta karanam, that Ishvara is the instrumental cause of the creation, sustenance, and destruction of this universe. And Anu means atom, is the Samavayi Karana, that is material cause that is pervading the effect. Now here, Anu means atoms. This whole idea of atoms was contributed by Kannada much before, in fact, centuries before, science could come to this idea that everything is composed of atoms. But again, from the non-dual standpoint, this perspective cannot be accepted because, of course, there, in the non-dual standpoint, Ishvara is not the instrumental cause, but it is Brahman, which is both the material and instrumental cause. Therefore, we cannot accept it. But still here, Bhagavad-pada Shankaracharya Deva is telling about the other viewpoints. Finally, he will reject these viewpoints. Anunscha samavai karanam. So, nimitta karanam is inferred. Nimitta karanam is Ishvara. Anu or atom is the samavai karana or the material cause. Material cause. Then eva manye api. Similarly, other people also. Other people means those belonging to other school of thoughts. So here other, now it means Buddhists, Tarkika means those who argue or polemics, or those who support something and argue for a particular point to be proven. So Tarkika means people who are following a rational reason to attain to a particular decision. Tarka means reason. So they are arguing to prove a point which is based on reason, logic. So those people also, that is the Buddhas, Vakya Abhasa Yuktya Abhasa Abhasau Abhasa Avashtambaha Purva Pakshavadinaha Iha Uttishtante. So the other group, that group, what is that group? What kind of means of knowledge or what kind of tools do they hold on to? So the other group, Vakya Abhasa, Yukti Abhasa. So there are two types of Abhasa. Two types of understanding. One is Vakya Abhasa, understanding through scriptural statement. Understanding through scriptural statement. So scriptural statement means Vedic statement. That is Vakya Abhasa. So here, Asadva Idamagra Asit, like that in the Taittiriya Aranyaka or Taittiriya Upanishad, it is told that in the beginning, Idamagra Asadva Asit, that was Asat. Asat means unreal. It was unreal. This is Vakya Abhasa. Vakya Abhasa. Holding on to that particular statement or sentence to prove something. Then Yukti Abhasa. Yuktya Abhasa. What is Yuktya Abhasa? That is, whatever is there, that becomes nothing in the end. Like lamp. So lamp is now lamp till you have the fuel for that lamp. The moment lamp loses its fuel, it ceases to be a lamp. it ceases to be a lamp. So lamp at its end will not be lamp. It will become what? Become something but not lamp. So similarly, here also that is the thing. That is called Yukti Abhasa, using reason to understand the particular thing. So now these people, they hold on to these type of logics. That is logic based on sentences, Vedic sentences, logic based on reason or logic itself. So they hold on to such kind of reasoning, and then they Purva Pakshavadinaha Iha Uttishtante. So here at this juncture of this commentary on Brahma Sutras, Shankaracharya, Bhagavad Shankaracharya, he is positing or bringing forth the ideas of Purva Paksha. Purva Paksha means the opponent party. It actually means Purva Paksha means a person who has come prior to me or before me. Before me means in front of me. Purva can mean all these things. So there is an objection. Somebody has come in front of the Siddhanti. There is an objection. Siddhanti means one who follows the main school of thought. Here it is Advaita Vedanti, Advaita Vedanta. So somebody is coming to that person or listening to the argument of that person in arriving at the Siddhanta, the conclusion. Here what is the conclusion? Advaita Vedanta conclusion everybody knows. Brahma and Jiva Aikya. The identity of Brahman and Atman. That is the conclusion. So now that is the conclusion. All other things are unreal. That is also the conclusion. All other things are unreal. Brahman alone is real, and therefore Brahman is the both the material cause and instrumental cause of this universe. That is the conclusion. So now that conclusion, if somebody cannot accept, then that person philosophically puts forth an objection. So that is called Purva Paksha. The Paksha or the argument of the person who is Purva, before me or in front of me, either way. Now that Purva Paksha is posited or presented by whom? By the person who is writing the commentary. So here Bhagavad Shankaracharya Deva is writing the commentary, and the commentary is being written in such a way that the Purva Paksha, the opponent party, is also presented here. But we have to remember that the opposite party is being presented by Shankaracharya himself. It's not somebody else who is presenting. Shankaracharya himself is presenting the opposite view also. That being the case, still we can have an idea of what is being presented and how this opponent's very argument, sometimes it will become very clear that the opponent's arguments are so clear and we know where that argument is wrong and by where it is wrong with respect to this philosophy, like that. So sometimes one may wonder that if these were arguments presented by not by Shankaracharya but by some real person who is the belonging to that particular opposing school of thought, like here this particular sutra we will see, it is all about pradhana of Sankhya philosophy. So like that there are so many opposing school of thought, but when we read this objection, sometimes we feel that the objection is too simply presented. It is presented in a very, very simple manner, too easy to be refused or set aside. Anyway, so it is necessary also to understand properly Brahma Sutra. It is necessary also to understand these philosophies which have been presented here, because sometimes, so those philosophies have to be understood independently. Of course, it's a huge work to understand all the philosophies, at least six philosophies which follow the Vedas. They are called Astika Darshana. To understand this six philosophies, very difficult. So at least some key points have to be understood, independently written by people who follow that particular philosophy. For example, Sankhya. There was somebody called Ishvara Krishna. So he wrote a book, a treatise on Sankhya called Sankhya Karika. So if one wants to study this and understand what is Sankhya, one has to go through that particular text, Sankhya Karika, which is written from within the tradition of Sankhya. And then one will understand the flaws of Purva Paksha as cited by Shankaracharya, or one will completely understand what that Purva Paksha actually means. So this is very important. Some kind of first-hand knowledge of that philosophy which is being set aside or refuted here. So here, this Vakya Abhasa, Yukti Abhasa, using these two, there are people who are Purva Pakshavadina and they are Uttishtante. They come up here. Why? Because they don't follow Advaita philosophy. So they don't follow, in the sense they don't agree with the conclusion of Advaita Vedanta. So that is why they are Purva Pakshavadina, and that is the people who hold on to the Purva Paksha, opponent argument or opponent side. Paksha also means side. So they follow Vakya Abhyas Abhasa, Yukti Abhasa. These people are Buddhist. So here, Sankhya, Buddhist, and also to some extent Nyayika. And we have already seen Mimamsa philosophers being set aside. All these philosophers are being refuted, or their thought process is being challenged. So Tatra, in such cases, that means wherever this Purva Paksha has been posited, Tatra Pada Vakya Pramanagnena Acharyena Vedanta Vakyanam Brahma Avagati Paratva Pradarsanaya Vakya Abhasa Yukti Abhasa Pratipattayah Purva Pakshi Kritya Nirakriyante. So this sentence means Tatra, in those cases wherever this Purva Paksha, that means the opponent party, has been posited, there Pada Vakya Pramana Gena Acharyena. There what has happened? There this Acharya means one who has composed the sutras. That is Acharya. One who has composed the sutras. That is Acharya. Here it is Veda Vyasa, Badarayana. So Badarayana, here Acharya, who is fully knowledgeable, well versed with Pada Vakya Pramana. Pada Vakya Pramana. That means one who is well versed about Pada, about words, Vakya, sentences, and Pramana, means of knowledge, is well versed with these things. And so that person, what that person does, this person who is well versed in what is being told here, both at all the levels, that is at the level of word, at the level of sentences, and also at the level of means of knowledge. A person who has got this complete expertise in understanding the scriptural text, that person That person, that is the Acharya. Here, that is Veda Vyasa or Badarayana. He, what does he do? Vedanta Vakyanam Brahma Avagati Paratva Pradarsanaya. Pradarsanaya, for the sake of displaying or showing, for the sake of showing or explaining or elaborating what, to show what? Brahma Gati Paratva Vedanta Vakya. Vedanta Vakyanam, of the scriptural sentences or Vedantic sentences, which means Upanishadic sentences, Brahma Avagati Paratva Pradarsanaya, to show or to display the connection or the purpose of the Upanishadic statements to be Brahma Avagati, to be Avagati, the understanding or realization of Brahman. So all these Vedantic sentences, they have only one goal in mind, and that is to understand the purpose. So what is the purpose of this, all the Upanishadic sentences? To understand that Brahman, to realize that Brahman, Brahma Avagati Paratva. That is it. And so to display this or to show this, what does the Acharya do? Vakya Abhasa, Yukti Abhasa, Pratipattayah, Purva Pakshi Kritya, Nirakriyante. So what does that person do? The person Nirakriyante. That person sets aside the arguments of the Purva Paksha. What kind of arguments? Which come through Vakya Abhasa and Yukti Abhasa. Means come through on the authority of the sacred text or Vedas, and also on the authority of Yukti Abhasa, authority of reason or knowledge. So Vakya Abhasa, Yukti Abhasa, Pratipattayah, Purva Pakshi Kritya, Nirakriyante. So that is this kind of a pratipatti, this kind of a statement is then what is done? That is completely this kind of statement which is brought about by Vakya Abhasa or Yukti Abhasa. That means depending on the sacred text or Vedantic text and depending upon logic, whatever is brought about, that is considered to be Purva Paksha. That is considered to be opponent party, opponent or the side of the opponent, argument of the opponent. And it is Nirakriyante. It is completely set aside. Completely set aside. It is made completely Nirakarana. Nirakarana means complete annihilation or completely setting it aside. So here, this is what we have to understand. This particular thing we have to understand. Tatra Sankhyaha, also in this context, Sankhya philosophers, Pradhanam Trigunam Achetanam Jagatah Karanam iti Manyamana Ahutu. Who are the Sankhya philosophers? Sankhya philosophers are nothing those who believe or who hold that Tatra Sankhyaha, Trigunam, what do they hold? What is their standpoint? Trigunam Achetanam Jagatah Karanamiti. Their standpoint is that Sankhya philosophers, they talk about this principle or this particular entity, which is called Pradhana. And the Pradhana is what? Pradhana is Trigunam Achetanam. Pradhana is full of three qualities, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. At the same time, it is a non-conscious entity. Achetanam. It's not Chetana. It's not conscious. It is a non-conscious entity. And that Sankhya philosophers hold that is Jagataha Karanamiti. That is the cause of this universe. So Purana, which is very much, Pradhana, which is very much embodied, not embodied, unembodied, which is very much unconscious, non-conscious, non-sentient. It is not sentient also. It is not conscious also. That is Jagataha Karanamti. That is the cause of this universe. This is the belief of Sankhya philosophers. Such Sankhya philosophers, Ahuhu, they say. So Manyamana means one who believe like this. Those people, they say, Yani Vedanta Vakyani Sarvajnasya Sarvashaktehe Brahmano Jagat Karanatvam Darshayanti iti avochah Tani Pradhana Karana Pakshepi Yojayitum Shakyante. So Shakyante. So they say these Sankhya philosophers who believe or who consider Pradhana, that whatever this entity which they call Pradhana, that Pradhana they consider, what do they consider this Pradhana to be? They consider this Pradhana to be the cause of this universe. Okay, so what is the harm? There's no harm, but it just happens that this Pradhana is also unconscious. Pradhana is unconscious, and it is under the realm of, or it is full of three gunas, influenced by three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. So it is in the domain of three gunas, and it is also unconscious. And that is what, according to Sankhya philosophers, it is that principle which is the cause of this universe. So those people, they say, they have an objection to make. They say, Yani Vedanta Vakyani, those Vedantic sentences which Sarvajnasya Sarvashakte Brahmanoho Jagat Karanatvam Darshayanti iti avochah. You means Advaita Vedantins, are telling iti avochah like this. What are you saying? You are saying that all those Upanishadic statements, whatever Upanishadic statements you are citing, according to you, that those Upanishadic statements are talking about, are showing that Brahman is the cause of this universe. That this Sarvajna means omniscient. Sarvajna, all-knowing, omniscient. Sarvashakta means omnipotent. So this omnipotent and omniscient Brahman is the cause of the universe. This particular thing has to be, you are saying like this. You are saying like this, that this Brahman, which is omniscient and omnipotent, is Jagat Karanatvam Darshayanti. This is the cause of the universe. And moreover, you say that these Vedantic passages, they show us that this Brahman is the cause of the universe. Avochah, like that you are saying, you Advaita Vedantins. Tani, but the beauty is that the very Vedantic passages which you are quoting and saying that they say that Brahman is the cause of the universe, Tani Pradhana Karana Pakshepi Yojayitum Shakyante. So it is very much possible that those Vedantic passages can also be read to mean that Pradhana is the cause of the universe. That means those passages can be interpreted in this way also. Pradhana Karana Pakshepi Yojayitum Shakyante. So it can be easily made to give this idea or give this knowledge that Pradhana is the cause of this universe. So what you are saying, iti avochamah, you are saying that iti avochah, sorry, iti avochaha. You are saying that, oh, Brahman is the cause of universe because these Upanishadic passages say so. Using the same Upanishadic passages, now in between, Kanchan has said that Swami Vivekananda says universe has no cause. Kanchan, actually, I don't know where you got that statement. I would like you to tell the site that, and then we will know the context. I'm not sure whether Swamiji actually said that universe has no cause. That would be a very illogical thing to say. And I don't know whether he said it. Brahman has no cause, he has said. That of course makes sense. Universe has no cause, I don't remember. So if you please cite it proper where from you have got that, then probably we will be able to help. So the Sankhya philosophers, they say that the passages which you are citing, O Advaita Vedantins, saying that those passages show that Brahman is the cause of the universe, the very same passages, those very passages can be also interpreted to mean Pradhana Karana, that Pradhana is the cause of the universe. So Pradhana Karana Pakshe Api Yojayitum Shakyante. Those passages can be added or interpreted to mean also the argument or the perspective that Pradhana is the cause of the universe. Sarva Shaktitvam Tavat Pradhanasyapi Swavikara Vishayam Upapadyate. So you say that Brahman is omnipotent. So if Brahman is omnipotent, Sarva Shaktitvam, omnipotence, tavat, in that manner, Pradhanasya api swavikara vishayam upapadyate. So this omnipotence, even in the case of Pradhana, it is possible. It is possible. Because how? Because that Pradhana has modifications. Pradhana has modifications. So somebody has to create modifications. So for creating modifications within oneself, that is within Pradhana itself, Pradhana can also be, it is quite upapadyate, it is only logical to say that Pradhana is also omnipotent. Pradhana is also omnipotent. It's Sarva Shaktitva, Shaktimat. It has got all the powers. That also can be said. Because it Swavikara Vishayam. It is also creating its own modification. So we can say that, okay, Pradhana, because it has got its own modifications, that is Sarva Shaktimat. It is omnipotent. It is all powerful. Evam, in similar manner, Sarvagyatvam api upapadyate. In the same manner, we can also logically establish the Sarvagyatva, omniscience of Pradhana. Now, this is one big kind of demand or claim by Sankhya philosophers. This is a big claim that they can prove that Pradhana is omniscient, all-knowing. How can this be possible? Pradhana is a non-conscious entity. How can it be all-knowing? Katham, how is it that possible? How is it that possible? What is possible? How is it possible to prove that Pradhana is all-knowing? Yattu jnanam manyase sa sattva dharmaha. Sattvat sanjayate jnanam Gita 14th chapter 17th verse. Iti smritehe. So here again that question comes. Whatever, how is Pradhana omniscient? Then Advaita Vedanta philosopher, is asking this question. How can you say Katham? How can you say that Pradhana is omniscient, Sarvagyatva, Sarvagya? How can Pradhana be Sarvagya? Katham? Then the answer is given by Sankhya philosophers. Sankhya philosophers saying, see, whatever you call this jnana, all this jnana you're doing, that jnana is actually a property of sattva guna. Jnana is a dharma of sattva guna. That dharma means property. It's the nature of sattva guna. Yattu jnanam manyase, what you think to be jnana or knowledge, sa sattva dharma hai. That is the dharma, that is a property of sattva guna. Sattvat sanjayate jnanam. In the Bhagavadgita it is said in the 14th chapter, 17th verse, Sattvat, from sattva property, sattva guna, sanjayate is born, jnanam, knowledge. So knowledge comes from what? Sattva guna. Because it is the characteristic, it is the nature of sattva guna. Iti smritehe. Like that in Smriti, that is in Gita, it has been told. Tena cha sattva dharmena jnanena karya karanavantaha purushaha sarvagya yoginaha prasiddhaha. So tena cha sarva dharmena jnanena. So that tena, by using that sattva dharmena jnanena, that knowledge which is dharma or property of sattva, knowledge which is the property of sattva, karya karanavantaha purushaha. So by the thing that this knowledge is the property of sattva guna, it also means that sattva guna has to be there for knowledge. Sattva guna is very much in the domain of ignorance, where three gunas will be there: sattva, rajas, and tamas. So here what is told? Here it is said, jnanena karya karanavantaha purushaha. So through this knowledge of which is the property or characteristic of sattva guna, karya karanavantaha, those that have cause and effect. Karya karanavantaha, those which have the relationship of cause and effect. Purushaha. So that means karya karanavantaha, those, here of course karya karana has different meaning. Karya means body and karana means sense organs. So karana and karya, body and sense organs. That means the body-mind complex, one might say. Body-mind complex. Purushaha sarvagya yoginaha prasiddha. So these people all are, these people who have body and mind, those people who become yogi, they are popularly understood to be omniscient, sarvagya. They are understood that they are all omniscient. So people go to them and ask them various things, almost like an oracle or a person who tells the future, etc. So they are known, because this is the objection of Sankhya philosopher. We have to remember that. So it is known that yogis who have become yogis, they are these people who have become yogis, ordinary persons who have become yogis now, they are sarvagya, they are omniscient. That is known. Why? Sattvasya hi niratishaya utkarshe sarvagyatvam prasiddham. It is also known, prasiddham, that sattvasya hi niratishaya utkarshe. Indeed, upon the utkarsha, upon the excellence of Niratishaya, means unparalleled or tremendous excellence, unparalleled excellence of Sattva. So Sattvasya hi Niratishaya Utkarshe Sarvagyatvam Prasiddham. It is well known that Sarvagyatva or omniscience is born out of the unparalleled excellence of Sattva Guna. That means when Sattva Guna is completely manifest, when Sattva Guna comes out completely, only then this Sarvagyatva, omniscience, comes out. That is the idea. So, na kevalasya akarya karanasya purushasya upalabdhi matrasya sarvagyatvam kinchitgyatvam va kalpayitum shakyam. Also, you Advaita Vedantins, you are constantly saying Brahma Jnana, like that. Brahma Jnana. So you say that upon attaining the knowledge of Brahma Jnana, one becomes Sarvagyatva. That means one becomes omniscient, etc. So na kevalasya akarya karanasya. Just by knowledge, which merely knowledge, kevala jnana, only knowledge, which does not have karya karanam, which does not have body and sense organs connected to that. So that is not possible, that such a person who is only knowledge and does not have any body or sense organs, it is not possible that that person is sarvagyatva. Sarva is omniscient. Purushasya upalabdhi matrasya. So here you see the point is, you are saying Brahma Jnana. Brahman is what? Brahma Jnana is, according to you Advaita Vedantins, it is of the nature of knowledge. Very good. So knowledge without any body and mind. Can anybody become sarvagyatva? Can anybody become all-knowing, omniscient? No. Kinchit jnatvam va kalpitum shakyam. So it is not possible to imagine or posit either omniscience or the opposite of omniscience, that is knowing little. It is not. There is limited knowledge, either infinite knowledge, unlimited knowledge, or limited knowledge. Neither is possible in the case of when there is only jnana is involved, when there is only knowledge involved. There is no body and mind. There is no body and sense organs. In such a case, this is not possible. This is not possible. What is not possible? You cannot say that there is limited knowledge. You cannot also say that there is unlimited knowledge. You cannot say that that person is all knowing. You cannot say that the person is does know only little thing. Why? Because it is not possible to imagine any kind of knowledge without a body and mind, or body or sense organs. Triguna Tvatu pradhanasya sarvajnana karana bhutam sattvam pradhana avasthayam api vidyate iti pradhanasya achetanasya satah sarvajnatvam upacharyate Vedanta Vakyeshu. So Trigunatvat tu, but Pradhana, the principle called Pradhana in Sankhya, it is Trigunatva. It is because it is having three gunas. Pradhana is having three gunas. So what happens? Pradhanasya sarvajnana karana bhutam. Because it has got three gunas, it definitely has got sattva guna. Knowledge is the property of sattva guna. So Pradhanasya sarvajnana karana bhutam. The cause of Pradhana's omniscience, the cause of the omniscience of Pradhana, that is Sattva Guna. Sattva. So that Sattva Guna, Pradhana avasthayamapi vidyata. That Sattva Guna, which is the cause of the omniscience of Pradhana, it remains Pradhana avasthayamapi vidyata. It remains even during Pradhana, even when it is that omniscience is remaining, even in the state of Pradhana. Pradhanasya vidyate iti Pradhanasya achaitanasyaiva satah sarvagyatvam upacharyate Vedanta Vakyeshu. So Pradhanasya achaitanasyaiva, even having Pradhana which is unconscious or non-conscious, satah sarvagyatvam upacharyate Vedanta Vakyeshu. So sarvagyatvam upacharyah Vedanta Vakyeshu. Upacharyate Vedanta Vakyeshu. So here also this Pradhana, again we have to remember this is all the argument of Sankhya philosophers. Again this Pradhana, Pradhanasya achetanasyaiva satah. Even though it is achaitana, even though it is unconscious, non-conscious, even though that is the case, sarvagyatvam upacharyate Vedanta Vakyeshu. In the Vedantic sentences or in the Upanishadic sentences, Pradhana is told to be Sarvagya, omniscient. So upacharyate means that has been figuratively said. So this is the thing we have to understand, that Sankhyan philosophers now say that it has been figuratively said. Gauna, it has been figuratively said. What has been figuratively said? Upacharya, that Pradhana is Sarvagya. That the principle called Pradhana is omniscient. That has been hinted at, or that has been told as a sideline, or figuratively told or implied in the Vedantic sentences. This is what till now is the objection or objections of Sankhya philosopher. Afterwards, these objections will be set aside with the coming sutra. That is the 5th sutra. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tatsat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Shubharatri.